Let's just read this letter briefly again. Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, May 30th, 2023.
Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, share with your friends to have access to this kind of content that you have here. Don't forget to subscribe. I love and respect you. I'll be right back.
On this historical occasion of the inauguration of our beloved brother, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, I, Professor Banji Akintoye, the chairman of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, for and on behalf of the overwhelming majority of the Yoruba people at home and in the diaspora worldwide who seek self-determination, sovereignty for the Yoruba nation, deeply and sincerely rejoice with our brother on the fulfillment of his political ambition to preside over the affairs of the Nigerian state. Exactly 8 years ago, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's energetic, sincere, and dedicated assistant to another Nigerian citizen enabled that citizen to rise to this same position of President and Commander-in-Chief of Nigeria. Therefore, none of us citizens of Nigeria can now say that he does not deserve the same elevation for himself today. Indeed, his elevation to the presidency of Nigeria against all the odds that we Nigerians are painfully familiar with and against all the man-made contortions of order that characterize Nigeria demonstrate clearly the tenacity of the spirit that characterized his political career. These man-made contortions of order demonstrate the fundamental bankruptcy and the essential non-sustainability of the Nigerian state, which our brother must now lead. It is particularly noteworthy that all the electoral cycles under the successfully fraudulent constitutions of Nigeria since 1959 have ended up unutterably in controversies that are irresolvable and that are ultimately never resolved. The same scenario remains with us today. Nigerians stand at this moment in the devastating pains of unresolved nationality problem. As a highly prospective leader of another African country, remarked recently, the nations of Nigeria hate one another, and the hatred has steadily escalated since independence, and yet the political leaders of Nigeria strangely chooses to keep Nigeria as one country. Today, Nigerians stand at a grave moment when the nationality problem and the hatred have been fearfully aggravated by decision and effort of one of Nigeria's nation, the Fulani nation, to conquer, break, and subjugate all the other nations of Nigeria. We stand at a grave moment when there will be conqueror nation is still killing, maiming, destroying, still seeking to make Nigeria the bloodiest war zone on the African continent. We have experienced fully 8 years during which the conquered nation has enjoyed total freedom to carry out its invasions, killings, and destroying across the face of Nigeria, while enrolling the services of the foreign terrorist organization in invasion, all with very obvious complicity by the government and the security forces of Nigeria, with very loudly announced invitation by the President of Nigeria to non-Nigerians to come migrating from all over Africa to Nigeria without any travel document. Huge masses of hostile non-Nigerians, all ethnic clansmen of the would-be conqueror nation, have been assisted to flood into Nigeria in order to reinforce their nation conquest of Nigeria. We Yoruba have lost an estimated 29,000 of our people to these rampages. Countless Yoruba women have suffered degradation of being raped by the invaders. Famine have been destroyed in a large swath of Yoruba farmland, and our whole Yoruba nation now faces the danger of devastating famines. In fact, there will be conqueror nation once embark on a loudly proclaimed effort to stab out the whole Yoruba nation by blocking the Lokoja Bridge for days against trucks that were transporting food products to Nigeria, to Yoruba Southwest from Nigerian Middle Belt. And again, without the government of Nigeria raising finger against the crime. But these are not all that the Yoruba people have suffered in Nigeria, ever intensifying cauldron of inter-people's hatred under a system of limited self-government and federalism in the decade preceding Nigeria's independence in the year 1960. We Yoruba achieved such a great development and modernization that made our region the pace setter in modernization, not only in Nigeria, but in all of Africa. We institute the first free education program in Africa, build the longest mileage of modern highways, the most urban water supply project, the first industrial estate with an ambitious industrialization program, the only investment capital in the structure with holdings in industries, banking, real estate, commerce, many life plantations, producing crops for industry, various skills, development centers for our youth. But Nigerians' culture of interpeople's hatred has almost totally destroyed all. Fleeing abroad have almost destroyed all. Sorry. Almost destroyed all. Yeah. Fleeing abroad at a terrifying rate, thereby creating a serious threat that their Yoruba nation could per capita structure with the holdings and industry. Okay, I think that moved a little bit. But Nigerian culture of interpeople's hatred has almost totally destroyed all rich in Nigeria. Against this background, let me move back one step here because I don't know what happened there. Yeah, destroy all. Of all these, though Yoruba people were confidently living in a growing prosperity by 1960, most Yoruba people now belong in Nigerians' horrible culture of poverty, which is growing worse and worse. Yoruba educated youth, confronted by Nigerians' hopelessness, are fleeing abroad at a terrifying rate, thereby creating a serious threat that their Yoruba nation could perish in Nigeria. Against this background, we Yoruba people remain fiercely convinced of the reality of the non-sustainability of the Nigerian state as a vehicle for galvanizing and translating the inherent creative energies of our people, the Yoruba people, into a development trust. Again, we are determined that the bottle-up Yoruba creativity must be released so as to generate the impetus to reenact the historical dynamism for which our Yoruba nation was famed in the past. The more the Yoruba nation remains stuck into and trapped in the vortex of the Nigerian trash machine, the more stagnant and backwards we Yoruba will become. Accordingly, we Yoruba people state categorically that the political realities of the one Yoruba man presidency over Nigeria cannot possibly alter the continual bondage, retrogression of the Yoruba people in the cauldron of the heavily devalued Nigerian state. The Yoruba nation will never submit itself to unending citizenship in Nigeria. That is irretrievably held in a deep dungeon of more and more poverty and hopelessness. Therefore, we Yoruba nation reaffirm our decision to negotiate with Nigeria the creation of our own separate autonomous political economy spaced outside the framework of the now illegitimate Nigerian state. We Yoruba have repeatedly stated in our letter and petition to the United Nations Organization, as well as the various governments of the world, including the Nigerian government in particular. We have stated as follows: above all, we Yoruba concluded irrevocably that the agenda of the war of conquest and subjugation by one nation that is part of Nigeria against the other nations of Nigeria, and the said nation's invitation to foreign terrorist organizations to come and help to wage war against other nations of Nigeria, all with the obvious complicity of the federal government of Nigeria, have idiotically violated and conclusively eliminated the unity and legitimacy of Nigeria as one country. We Yoruba have therefore concluded that we have the legitimate right and duty to separate our Yoruba nation from Nigeria. We Yoruba are prepared to attain these goals through negotiations, which is what I want to discuss today. There was a negotiation that happened after 30 years of civil war between the Irish and the British government. That 25 years peace agreement, which started in 1997 after a lot of killings, people died, destructions and all sorts. So when Yoruba people are saying, Koiki, the way forward, let me say this: the only way forward is that we will continue to negotiate with the federal government of Nigeria under the presidency or the president of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as we continue to highlight that to the international community. So negotiation is the first key in everything we're going to be doing. And as we're negotiating, we will continue with all our activities just as we are doing before. Yoruba Brown, Adija yẹn sẹ́ born bastard. Ìyàwó èrè yẹn. Ó dà bó release audio kan lánàá mo gbọ́dọ̀ yẹn lórí Wálé Àlè. Ó ní ọ̀rọ̀wọ́ rally gbàmù. Ọ̀dẹ̀ rówó flag gbàmù. Ọ̀rọ̀wọ́ díìsì gbàmù. Àwọn kẹrin ni wọ́n ti dèbí kankan lọ́wọ́ lójú kan bí adágún. You know. Unbelievable. Yoruba Brown, ẹni kó lọ síbi tí Dúpẹ́ wà kó ya picture pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Born bastard. Èmi máa pa gbogbo lórí media ẹ̀ tí mo kankan. So we will continue to negotiate. We will continue to come out. But àníjáde ní June 12 olórí burúkú June 12 MK Abiola kankan ọmọkùnrin àtẹnukọ Abiola àti gbogbo àti ìyàwó àtàwọn kò ní ká fún gbogbo wọn. Abiola wà lára tó bá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá jẹ́ olórí burúkú somebody. Kó wọn tẹ́lẹ̀ dè máa rí kọjá máa lọ yanjú ẹ̀ níbi tó wà. Born bastard. We Yoruba are prepared to attain these goals through negotiation. But the negotiation by Mawaye, part of it is the letter that we are reading that Baba have written to Tinubu. It is now up to Tinubu government to give us the negotiation environment. It's not going to happen in Nigeria, definitely. If we're going to negotiate, we can negotiate anywhere on a neutral ground. See, problem Baba between two countries or individuals or groups of people, you travel to a neutral ground. Baba gan ní láti lọ, Baba lè gbé spokesman wọn Gani Alágbàlá kó lọ represent wọn. Tinubu ní láti lọ, ó máa ní committee tó máa lọ represent ẹni wá dẹ̀ fún mi report. Bó ṣe máa rí nìyẹn. And that negotiation is not something that is going to come up, and give a straight answer, because so many things are linked in Nigeria that needs to be unbundled. And we might break up like that. Some of you don't even understand that there's a lot of things that is connected in Nigeria that needs to be unbundled. There's a lot of things that are unbundled. The UK is still trying to unbundle their relationship that they had with the European Union for 35 years. Some of you, you need to listen to platforms that break things down. And that's why those that are skeptical, breaking the country is not more. It has to negotiate. Then unbundle, unbundle. Okay, báwo la ṣe fẹ́ san loan tó wà nílẹ̀? Báwo la ṣe máa make sure pé àwọn tó ní businesses tó jẹ́ northerners tó ní business nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, businesses wọn máa wà secured, kò ṣe pé a máa kọ̀ gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé. There are things that has to be, tó bá dogun nìkan lè sọ fún yes, tó bá ti bá ló bá, anything tó bá lọ, táwa náà bá níyàn tó bá bank ọ̀nà náà kó bá lọ náà. But in the process that we don't want that to happen, there will be negotiation. Even tẹ́ bá padà jà náà tájà, there will still be negotiation. Wọ́n negotiate lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìnyí, tẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n news, wọ́n negotiate Sudan báyìí ṣe bá ń sọ̀rọ̀, ìjà yẹn kò tí dúró ni. Ṣé ló máa gbọ́ ṣó ẹ̀ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀? Ṣé iṣẹ́ yẹn ń ṣàlàyé gbogbo tèmi tá à ń ṣàlàyé fún yín? So, but because àwọn tó lọ ń gbọ́ wọn ti wà frustrated, pé á yẹ kí country ti jáde náà. Ṣé bí ìlú táwọn tàbí sọ́pà tó wà ní mọ́sọ́pà yẹn tẹ́tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà ẹ̀pá yìí tẹ̀ ní kò sí brain kankan lórí yín? Ṣé àwọn tó wà lábúrò ṣé bí bọ́ ṣe gba country táwọn jókòó sí nìyẹn? Ṣé Ayọ̀ Brown tó wà ní Island àbí gbólóhùn wa? Ṣé bọ́ ṣe gba Island nìyẹn ló ṣe fi gba Yorùbá nation? Born bastard. Ayọ̀ Brown tó ń pariwo yẹn, ìyá yẹn. Ṣé bọ́ ṣe gba Island lòun fi gba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá fún yín? Because some of them that are sitting down there, ìdí tẹ̀ ṣe lè lọ́jọ́ kò síbẹ̀, because mo rántí pé as many ọmọ yìí Nàìjíríà máa lọ bímọ síbẹ̀, tó bá ti bímọ síbẹ̀ wá fún ẹ níwèé. Àbí nǹkan tẹ̀ ń ṣe kọ́ nìyẹn. Tẹ̀ wá ń sọ jágbàjàgbà pé àmọ́ bá ń sùn. Orí gbogbo yín ti gbálẹ̀. Ìjọba pé mi ni màá ṣe gbóyún léṣe lórí mídíà. Aláwí táwọn kan tó máa pè àwọn wa bá ṣe fẹ́ parí ìjà, mo mọ àwọn tó ń bára wọn jà. Ẹjẹ́ lọ bá àwọn tó ń bára wọn jà, àwọn ọ̀bá yàn kan jà. Fact lèmi sọ ní bíbá. Èmi ò ń ṣe illiterate. Tẹ́yìn bá jẹ́ illiterate, èmi ò ń ṣe illiterate. Gbé ní UK for 25 years. Ṣé o ṣe máa ń sọ pé kàn sí gbogbo èèyàn tó gbé nílùú kan tó ní làákàyè? Ẹbí gbogbo àtàjọ gbé nílùú ìlànà làákàyè. Ṣé irú Ayọ̀ Brown yẹn ní sìn? Ṣé Island tó ń wà tó fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn? Ṣé bọ́ ṣe gba Island nìyẹn? Bọ́ ṣe gba Island máa sọ fún ilé ni. Island tí gbogbo ń jókòó àti ìyàwó èrè the other one tó ń sọ pé wọ́n fi Yorùbá nation ṣe scam tó ń tàgbó ní Dublin. Ṣé ibi torí pé ó ní enabling environment ni? Ṣèbí ohun tó jókòó sí Dublin yẹn, ṣé ó mọ ìjà tó jà? Òun lórí burúkú somebody ní dá fún gbogbo yín pátápátá. Ní kúure nípa ló máa bẹ̀yìn kan. Bá máa join Yorùbá, ìbí Yorùbá ní gbogbo yín náà. Bàbá Akintoye ní kò ní ṣépè fún ilé ìpínlẹ̀ máa gbà lẹ́nu tẹ̀lé. Born bastard nípa ló máa bẹ̀yìn kan kó wá join Yorùbá. Bá máa join Yorùbá nation. Ṣé Island táwọn jókòó sí 30 years ni wọ́n fi jàjà yẹn? Ó ṣe pé 25 years peace agreement. 1 year after tó ṣe peace agreement ẹ̀ lè mi dé ni mo dé London 1997 agreement ẹ̀ gan ní sọ́n tún wà ṣèkíṣèkí. We Yoruba are prepared to attain this goal through negotiation with the Nigerian government. Nigerian government ní à ń bá ṣe negotiation, and Nigerian government has no other option than to listen. They have to listen. The Nigerian government only listen Europa. Nigeria is not going to break by the time the problem starts. Go and prepare yourself. Everybody will be affected. You will not travel to Nigeria, because if you travel to Nigeria, you can be at risk. International community will remove their diplomat, just as they've done in Sudan. And they will remove as many of their citizens that hold a British passport, American passport, Saudi Arabia passport. And that's all. And they will leave every one of us to fight each other until we're ready to come back to the round table. But since we don't want to fight, we don't have the means to fight. That's why we are discussing this, so that we can negotiate peacefully out of Nigeria. But idiots will come and tell us it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Then we go through the IRA situation, which the British knew what happened to them. We Yoruba are prepared to attain these goals through negotiation with the Nigerian government, either on a bilateral basis, that is between our Yoruba nation and the government of Nigeria, or on a multilateral basis that brings out all the constituent stakeholders. Take note of that. There are too many stakeholders in Nigeria. And those stakeholders, we need to let them know that the reason that we are going, look, none of these countries around the world can stop a Nigeria breakup. They can slow it down. Kosilo not like by it only stop the breakup of Nigeria, because it is about the indigenous people. It's as simple as that. It is indigenous people that are asking for that breakup, not America going to tell us you cannot break up. America will only just say that, breaking up, we need to make sure that, it doesn't lead to bloodshed, quote and unquote, or it doesn't lead to a situation where, we will then also marginalize other people. But you think British and America will stop the breakup of Nigeria? No. The one that Akintoye is still doing is because Akintoye is taking it under the perspective, which is, look at the topic today. For some of you just come into the program, go and look at the topic. It is called the perspective of the Yoruba nation from the international view. None of the countries around the world can say we cannot break Nigeria. But what we are saying is that because we don't want it to lead to a fight. It's as simple as that. I listened to Simon Ekpa yesterday. He said almost the same thing. I was listening to him yesterday. Where, Nigeria is too big not to be broken. That one is nonsense. Nobody can say we cannot break up Nigeria. It's all about, we're just saying to Tinubu that instead of us all, where, we bomb the local, the moment that you break the bridge, Nigeria is gone. You divide the bridge. All these things can be done. It's possible. The moment you blow up any bridge in Nigeria right now, Nigeria is going. But why do we need to blow up a bridge when we can still keep that bridge and make sure that we just have our police in this side and their police on their side? If you want to go through, they make sure that, we won't need document to travel within Nigeria because we are one already. You will not need any document. But we just want to make sure that if anybody's coming, there are people that, should be coming. Why is British and America locking their borders? Why don't they open their borders and allow anybody to come in? It's because they need to control who's coming in, who's not going in. We put the right technology there. If I travel now, if I'm coming back in, they take my fingerprint. Because they want to be sure that I am not giving somebody else my same document to come into the country back. Why do you think they're taking our fingerprint? So that they can restrict us from not giving that. At some point, some people use it to travel before they started taking fingerprints. Some people are watching me like this, They got to America using somebody else's passport. All they did was they took it to Oluwole and they changed the face. So when they realized that, I'm on, listen, are you sure you are this person? Now they started upgrading. They started using fingerprints. Some of our people, when they watch me like this, some of them know, the person will know if they're watching me like this. Some people got away like that. Now they have their own American passport and the Canadian, but they went to America with somebody's fake passport. They know they're watching me like this. So why is America upgrading and then they'll tell us you cannot? No, but we need to negotiate with all the constituent stakeholders. They say they have been paying subsidy. I saw a video. The guy is saying that no subsidy was paid in the last 8 years. That is all lies. So Nigeria is full of too many deceits. Deceit. Everybody wake up every day. The only thing that is flourishing now, everybody, hey, hallelujah. Asalatu. They are doing it. People when they do it 5 days. Do you know that I watch a video? I'm going to show you from Arole 1010. Our brother that media in South Africa. What Giori woman can law. You need to look on your state and be somewhere in Ife or whatever. They have to be born at them. No forensic, no nothing. The blood is there. The blood that they should keep so that even after 30, 40, 50, 100 years, whoever commit that crime, we will not come. And you are telling me Nigeria is that, is developing. Which can develop? Dumb bastard. So we will negotiate. Until that negotiation, we can realize that, okay, it seems that they're not going to listen to us. And you blow up the first bridge. Boom! Yeah. These people serious. Why do you think they are talking to the Niger militants? It's because they are blowing the pipeline. That's why the government is talking to them so that they can cushion things down. Give them how can the country? National militant, the guy, the Saudi Arabia pipeline, local people. I mean, these are people that they should be trained and put into the military. So, but imagine, they give a Saudi local, but you can't be protecting pipeline. They give you Pagania dance. Is that the Saudi Arabia that you people are going Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar? She be Saudi Arabia. She's militant. They don't protect the Saudi Arabia pipeline. There's no crude oil that move in Saudi Arabia. They can detect it with the technology. With the technology, that video is on the social media. Because crude oil come to Saudi, they will know where it's going and where it's coming from. It's only Nigeria that everything is ghost. Lori Buruku somebody. Mukin Grammar, Leajari. And we are here saying that let's break this thing up so that your life can be minimized. Quick, I don't understand this. You buy your nation. What you know they do? Ulushi. No money, you don't have any money, you are just, so you that you don't even have anything, why what are you waiting for? Your life is meaningless anyway. So now that I've read that letter, I'll take you to the international perspective. Media, the only media that take you through the foreign relationship things and how you can link this Yoruba nation to the international side. Grateful to all our other medias. Let them be dealing with Duponitiri and that. When I want to reference to her, I will just bump past that and then, but the reality is mine is international perspective. Just like fella say, leave all those goddamn churches, all those goddamn mosques, and come here and listen. Who and who, United Nations, don't let them deceive you. Why Ireland split into the Republic of Ireland? They have Ireland. Now they have the Northern Ireland. They have Ireland. They now also have the Northern Ireland. Kilo de touch split. Kilo faja for 30 years. And you need to teacher. Yoruba nation, you think it's just going to come like that? You want Yoruba nation. You don't want us to start any wahala. Then we're going to be going through what they call, the diplomatic way. Diplomatic way, man. You think diplomatic way is going to give you a result in under 10 years? That's why they call it negotiation. You negotiate and negotiate and negotiate so that everything aliwa intact, so that you don't blow up your airport. You don't go to Sudan and say which airport is working in Sudan anymore now. And Nigerians, they run away. Everybody ran away. They left everything. So the moment that we can't go through that route of blowing up anything, then we have to do negotiation. And negotiation is not something that happens straight away. It takes some time. It takes a process. You want to negotiate, it takes a process. And that's one thing you need to understand. As long as we are going to negotiate our way out of Nigeria, then we got to wait and follow the process. Some bastard doesn't want to follow that process. That is why they are frustrated. People think by releasing audio, you don't know CNN. Sometimes I listen to some of this audio that people release and I just like say, tell me your mom country. African Bill and all these people, they release this their audio. They think they're talking to some stupid people. Or people, everybody's as gullible as themselves. You take all this your audio. This is your audio, we don't enter anywhere. I'm not sure. Sometimes I just laugh. The way they are releasing this their keju audio. So you think this your audio that you are releasing, audio if you pay over market anywhere. This audio no go anywhere now. This audio where nobody can even understand where this audio is coming from. Don't bastard. And we are going somewhere, but going is something that is going to happen, through negotiation. And don't come and tell me that Duponitiri is writing letter to all these, world power, because that is Fabuni. Every time this woman, this bomb bastard woman, you say, "Oti collect as Agbaye." Oti, any ko collect as Kola Abiola, olórí burúkú. Any ko collect, any ki Duponitiri collect as Kola Abiola. Ko ye collect as Agbaye mo. Ko collect as Kola Abiola, olórí burúkú somebody. It's like a sweet talk, Yoruba. And tell my forward and lori. Mulewa. Ìyẹn náà lọ ṣe fọwọ́ ra yín lórí títí tí wọ́n fi gba gbogbo country mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Bàbá Akintoye wá jáde pé àwọn tó ń gba country wọ̀ nílò o. A máa negotiate dáadáa pẹ̀lú but they are not ready to go. Mo fẹ́ gbé statement Bàbá Akintoye yẹn wá sórí Koiki Media so yẹn mo ṣe ní background ẹ̀ fún mi ní few minutes. Because mo ráyè ṣe lánàá again. So I'm just doing that right now. Sometimes if you got people sọ̀rọ̀ gan sef CNN gan ti gbé ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo ń sọ. But wọ́n mọ̀ pé Yorùbá nation wà níbẹ̀. Jẹ́ kí fáírọ́ọ̀sì kan máa kó sí lára. A ní kẹ́ ṣe sùúrù ẹ̀ dáhùn. Ẹ̀yin wèrè. Bàlọ́kà kọ́vẹ́tì ọ̀bà kọ́ọ̀bà rẹ̀ rè. Ṣáà ilé mọ̀ tó ń pè country ṣá. Kí ẹ gbórí bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé ọkàn fa gbòòrò kan ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń lọ tó ń bọ̀. Ó lè má ka free paper tán fún ọ ní Manchester bí tó wà yẹn. Alẹ́ lọ sásàlà tó wà lọ́mọ akékòó rán. Wọ́n wà ń bẹ̀ láàárọ̀ ìdí sẹ́gbọ́n máa lọ sí tó bá di twelve o'clock ìdí sẹ́gbọ́n máa daṣọ àwọn alájà àwọn alájì ẹ̀rí wọn. Ṣìnà dẹ̀ pọ̀ ní gbogbo wọn. Ìyàwó níyàwó lọ́mọ bá sùn lórí burúkú ẹ̀rí wọn pọ̀ ní gbogbo London náà. Tábà ti wá dé mọ́ọ̀sì wọn bá ṣe máa ṣẹ́jú síra wọn. Ọkọ àti ìyàwó níyàwó ló fi bá sùn. Ìyẹn lọ́sìn lọ sí mọ́ṣáláṣí o. Kò ṣe gbogbo wọn one bastard. Wọ́n pọ̀ ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì náà. Gbogbo òṣìṣẹ́ ń ṣe ní UK. ẹ wá ní ká máa bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ́ wá join Yorùbá ẹ bá máa join Yorùbá nation ìbí gbogbo alájọ ní family Nàìjíríà owó tó ń send £100 nígbà tó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí send 150 wàá mọ̀ pé ìtìmọ̀ kí á ló máa pariwo Yorùbá nation ló fẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ káwọn àwọn tó ń ṣe fracas lórí media kọ́mọdà ẹ̀hẹ́m ti download ẹ̀ wá nísìn wọ́n ní kọ́dà àrùn gbogbo lórí social media wà ó lò sí àrùn gbogbo àlàó yọ sí fún wa lówó Wálé Àlè ní pé ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ ń fún wọn lówó lẹ̀ ṣe ń dá dúró ẹ̀yin máa fún wọn lówó mọ́ wèrè ó náà wà wórí àbí kí ló pè rẹ̀ bomb bastard kò lè dárúkọ mi gan Ayẹ̀njá dárúkọ mi náà kí ló Ayẹ̀njá ni èmi mi dárúkọ tiẹ̀ lórí burúkú somebody ìjìnlẹ̀ ló wà ní Turkey ẹ̀rí sí president wọn tó ṣe wọlé ní sí 5 years ló máa ṣe ṣé ojú ó kẹlẹ̀bẹ̀ sójú ìjìnlẹ̀ kò rí bí Erdogan ṣe wọlé ṣé ìgbà tó ṣe election wọn níbẹ̀ ṣé wọ́n rí rán ẹ̀ ibi Turkey ló wà ìyẹn lọ́jọ́ máa ń sọ pé some people live in a country but they are not there èmi gbé ní bíbáyìí mo wà ní inú bíbáyìí lèmi wà bíbáyìí mo wà àìmọ̀ àwọn tó gbé ní bíbí labroad máa ń gbádùn bàbá Èkìtì àtàwọn kankan mo sọ fún yín pé ẹ má fi ìpè gbogbo àtàwọn labroad abẹ́tà rọ̀ fún yín o máa ń gbọ́ tí kinní náà máa ń sọ lẹ́ǹkọ̀ọ̀kan bọ̀bọ̀ awíkà pàkàbà yẹn òun náà máa ń sọ ẹ má àzún pé gbogbo àwọn tó wà labroad ló wà òkè o ẹlòmíì kò kúrò ní district ẹ̀ irúṣẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ níbẹ̀ ní sinmi ọ̀pọ̀ kúrò ní Manchester ó lè má di London bó ṣe wà yẹn ó lè jẹ́ bí àgbà tó ń bọ̀ láti Nàìjíríà direct lọ Manchester ó lè má ti di London rẹ̀ bó ṣe wà yẹn so ìyẹn ló ṣe ń bẹ̀rù tó bá dé London máa sọnù ẹlòmíì ò mọ bó ṣe ń underground ẹlòmíì ò mọ ẹ má assume pé gbogbo àtàwà labroad làwọn òkè àwọn táwọn òkè pọ̀ àwọn tó wọ́ọ̀kì ló pọ̀ jù especially in London burúkú yìí.
This is ODUA TV Watch. Don't forget to subscribe, comment your opinion, like, comment and share so that other people can get access to what you enjoy on our channel. Thank you. We love you.